I got this box of course 30 knives on eBay for more than 50 bucks, and it's either my best deal yet or a ripoff. Let's find out. So, hunting knife deals on eBay is pretty much a daily habit of mine at this point. But this one is pretty special, as it does seem that the majority of the knives are Victorinox. But none of the images has a single one of them opened up, so I have no idea what models are they and what's the condition. They might all be broken. So let's go through them all, try to identify them and give them the value I think they're worth, to see if we can beat the price I paid. So let's start with a smaller one. And it seems we have the Rambler. It looks brand new and I didn't have it, so let's say 20 bucks. This one's a classic without SD, as there's no screwdriver, but looks somewhat okay, be used up, so let's say 10 bucks. Another classic, this one is blue, but it's an Antwerp knife, so 10 bucks. And another classic. This one's also an Antwerp knife, but surprisingly for Siemens, which is pretty cool. So 10 bucks. And now we have the Spartan, which looks pretty decent, although it's an Antwerp knife, but let's say 10 bucks. And a pretty interesting camper. As you can see, it has the old logo, so it's most likely from the 80s, as well as it says economy on the blade, and there's no scale tools. So, let's say 15 bucks. And we have another classic. At this point, we need a classic counter, but let's say 10 bucks. This one's actually pretty cool. It's one of their 84mm models, and it's the Sportsman. As you can see, it's a bit smaller than the 91mm, and the toolset is, let's say, pretty cool. I don't have it yet, so let's say 15 bucks. This one seems to be the Spartan, but a bit of an older model, as there's no scale tools, and I could not open anything besides blade, as everything is stuck. So I'll clean it up, but at this point, let's say 5 bucks. And another classic, although this one is pretty bad. As you can see, the movement is very stiff, it's rusted, and it's an Antwerp knife. So 5 bucks. And another Spartan. Although this one is pretty old, as you can see there's the old logo, but the condition is, I'd say, pretty nice. A pretty nice snap. So, let's say 20 bucks. And another classic. This one looks pretty decent, so 10 bucks. Now this one's pretty cool. It seems old, as the blade actually says Victoria on it. I'm pretty sure it means it's from the 70s or about that time, and the tool set's also pretty interesting. Some of the tools are a bit stuck, but the cool part is the screwdriver. I've actually not seen one just like this on a Victorinox, so it's pretty cool. Let's say 30 bucks. And we have a Wanger, but it's pretty cool. It says EP patent on the ball opener, which I have no idea what it means. Maybe it's an original model or something, but I don't have this model yet. I don't know what it's called, but looks pretty cool. And the movement is not the best, but looks pretty decent. So 20 bucks. And we do have one of these cheap cones, but at least it's German. But looking at it, looks pretty bad. So nothing. And another Spartan. This one's also older. As you can see, the old logo, as well as no scale tools. But it's an Antwerp knife, and overall, it's a bit rusted. So let's say 10 bucks. And another Spartan. Although this one has the new logo and looks a bit better, but there are no scale tools, and yeah, let's say 10 bucks. And for a change, we actually don't have the classic. This one's the Escort, and it's even cheaper. So let's say 5 bucks. But don't worry, as we have another classic. Although this one is a bit gucky, and it's an advert knife. So 5 bucks. This one does seem to be the Huntsman, as it has both the scissors as well as the saw, but there's no hook on the other side. So I'm not sure, maybe it's a discontinued model, but still looks pretty nice. Pretty nice snap, it seems. Yeah, so 20 bucks. And another Spartan, although this one looks nice. Looks brand new, even with the old logo, so it's pretty old. But overall, looks brand new. So let's say 25 bucks. And it seems we have the Climber, although this one also does not have the hook, which is pretty weird, as the art tools match the Climber, but without the hook. So yeah, let's say 15 bucks. I'm actually not sure about this one. It seems pretty similar to the Mini Champ, but there are a couple tools missing. But other than that, seems pretty similar. Not sure, might be an older model, but has a pretty nice liner loop, and overall looks pretty cool. Definitely don't have one like this, so let's say 30 bucks. And it seems we have the Swiss Champ, which is pretty sweet. As you can see, looks pretty nice, but it does not have the pliers. So it's a bit weird. It might be a slightly different model, but other than that, it matches the Swiss Champ, so I'm not entirely sure. It also might be an older model, but you can correct me in the comments. But I've seen Swiss Champs going upwards of 100 bucks. So in this condition, let's say 50 bucks. But now, let's go for the boxes. Fear not, as we have another classic. Although this one has the logo cleaned off, but still looks pretty nice. It's white. So 10 bucks. And another classic. As you can see, this one's an advert knife, but looks brand new. So let's say 10 bucks. But now, I know you see it, I see it, I saved the best for last, as we have this thing. I'm not entirely sure what's the model called, but we have a Wanger from 1981, which is pretty sweet, as I've seen models like these go upwards of 100 bucks on eBay on their own. So considering looks pretty nice, although it's a bit stiff, let's say 50 bucks. So let's get this out of the way. And looking at the final number, we crushed it. There was only one bad one there, and it's this thing, but the rest were pretty awesome. And the fact that I found so many models I did not already have is pretty amazing, as I pretty much always carry Victorinox in my pocket. It might not be the primary blade, but it's there if I need it. And the older I get, the more I do appreciate them. They are simple and they're not perfect, but they work. And they're very consistent when it comes to quality. And usually the quality you get for the price you pay is pretty amazing on them. So yeah, but now that I have so many of them, I do have an idea to build my own custom one, as I have plenty of parts to disassemble. But let me know in the comments if that's something you're interested in seeing. And yeah, if you liked the video, leave a like, subscribe, and see you next one. Bye!